Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back for another adventure. So we've transitioned from our 4-stroke lawnmower, which is still in progress, needs a wheel. That should hopefully be here sometime soon. Back to the 2-stroke world. We're going to take a look at this crusty machine, the Mac 32 Hundo. So I'm curious who actually makes the Mac. The Mac is owned by McCulloch Corporation. This was another found on the side of the road special, which are my favorite, as I've said before, because they cost nothing. Let's do a brief overview, because overviews can get pretty boring. Choke. All the way down is choke, and then we get half choke, and then we get no choke. Okay, this is our safety switch, I'm sure, for the trigger. Okay, so that's stop, that's run. So while you're running along, you can kill it. Okay, cool. Primer bulb. I don't know if I've ever seen a primer bulb on a chainsaw. Does it squish? That's a new series we're going to make. Does it squish? And that primer bulb does not want to squish. Okay, oil tank. Again, moving the residents' houses out of the way. I do not see any Earl. Well, maybe there's some Earl in there. Oh, we'll figure it out later. Got our nice little icon there. Gas goes here. First complaint, Mac. Your kickback stop is in the way of the gas fill. Not the best design, but who am I to complain? 40 to 1. Okay, so we like this one a little richer on oil. Alright, we can probably do that. Do I dare smell it? 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's deck stain. Alright. It's been sitting for a while. Okay, I'm not even going to look in the tank. One thing I've not done is check to see if we can even spin this over. Here we go. Oh yeah, we have a spinner. That is encouraging. And you know what's even better? We have a ripcord that retracts. So where do you guys want to start? I'm thinking we need to check for spark. Did you know they actually make a tool for removing spark plug wires? I did not. I'm guessing it's insulated on both ends, so you can do it while the vehicle's running if you wanted to. I'm not entirely sure. That's pleasantly clean. That's really clean. Looks fairly new. Champion RDJ 7Y. We have our hemostats attached to one of the fins on the jug or cylinder, whatever you want to call it. Let's see what we get. Oh! Good news, we have spark. Let's see if our switch works. Hit the stop button. No spark. Back on. All right. What I'd like to do next is remove the chain and the bar. Do you have to remove these nuts? Sorry. Do you do you have to remove those and take these screws out? Let's just dig into it. Okay, I wonder if they're captive. They are captive. Good choice. Alright, so how does it come off? I'm sure someone's yelling at me in the comments. It's almost like it's stuck on the drive. It is stuck on the drive. You have to, oh, okay. Oh, I'm a smart guy. We were in the locked position. So this band was grabbing onto the chain drive here, not letting me pull the cover off. Da, 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 da. Loosen bar, check. Remove chain from tip, check. Now I have to tilt the chain up to get it out. All right, we can do that. We're working here. Oh, don't fall. Don't fall. Thank you. Okay, we are working with what we got. And the bar is off. Success. What do you say we take a look at our piston? Maybe. Oh man. We're going to start not on beast mode. Okay. Turn up the pump. Oh yeah. I'm going to take the plug out. Also going to clean up around here so we don't get any debris in there. We'll take a look at our piston. I'm still seeing crosshatch on the cylinder. That's pretty impressive. Well, then again, we don't know how many hours are on this, right? All right, let's see what our piston has in store. Okay, well, there's a little bit of darkness on the side there. Not sure what that clicking noise is. Oh, it's anti-rollback. I can't spin it back the opposite direction. Something that's interesting, once I reach top dead center, when the piston's all the way at the top, this will spring into place. Right there. Just sprung into place. It's like it locks it into TDC. I'm curious why. Should we check out the inside of the muffler? Okay. Cover. Does this come out? Yes. Yes, it does. All right. A little bit of oil. Looks like our spark arrestor is in good shape. Talk about an easy clean muffler. Wow. I mean, you can literally take this down piece by piece. That's pretty cool, honestly. Oh, wow, there's even more pieces. Oh, okay. Huh. I'm going to forget where all this stuff went. I got our fully serviceable muffler put back together. That's pretty cool. I've never seen that before. Well, as we know, I haven't seen a lot, but I just noticed these little teeny holes that the exhaust actually comes out of. Okay, we're back for another day. Why don't we take this cover off, because I'm betting the carburetor's under here. 1, 2, 3. Are these captive? They are. Nicely done, McCall. What do we have here? A pre-cleaner? Uh-oh. Is this going to be another... Yep. That goes way down there. Okay, I'm going to stop touching that before I make it disintegrate completely. Let's see what's behind here. Oh, okay. Air passes through here. This is supposed to seal against the filter. Okay, that's cool. Got some seriously long screws there. Let's go ahead and just take that out of the equation. And here goes nothing. That baby is stuck on there. Only one thing to do. Try harder. Oh, there we go. Let's get rid of our fuel lines here. Or not. See if we can get our throttle linkage off of there. Yep, there she goes. Set that off to the side. have more resident creatures in here. So this is basically ready to come off. I don't want to rip the fuel lines if I don't have to. That one's like crystallized. Quite literally. Oh, there we go. We got the pop on the fuel line. You see what's going on? Because I cannot see what's going on. Let's just give it a yank. Holy crap. Dang, man. I'm just going to rip it off at this point. That thing is just permanently encrusted on there. Get out. Okay, there we go. Wow. Almost like it's been sitting there for years. Okay. Oh, look at that. Zama. We have another Zama carburetor. Let me guess. China. High and low mixture screws. Did a number on our diaphragm here, a little button. If I match it up, it actually lines up quite nicely. Are we worried about this hole down here? No. Let me show you why. Because it's a blind hole, and the only thing it does is engage this little tab right here. So I'm thinking we might be in good shape. I'm going to go ahead and remove our rocker here because I can feel it stick. And we're going to do a little cleaning house. I'm pretty sure you know the routine. Cooperate. Oh, could have been bad. But it wasn't. I'm kind of glad this thing's magnetic. It seems to help more often than not. Let's get the needle. And that kind of sticks in there pretty well. What do you think? Rubber tip? Regular tip? That looks like a metal tip needle to me. And also a metal seat. And I was wrong again. That is a rubber tipped needle. Check that out. A little bit of ATF. It's brand new. Yeah, not bad. Pretty clean. I think you know how I feel about these plastic tips. I know they're for emissions, but not for our use. Actually, looks like I have to take the red one out first. When you want to make sure you use the smallest pair of pliers you have. What you think? I think we pull harder. Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, yeah, there goes the knuckles. Good news is I can grow new skin. Let's check out our initial settings here. We'll start with the low side. Of course, my twisting pulling action may not be perfect, but we can always tweak it on the fly. 1/2, 1, and 1/4. Let's check the high side. 1/2, 1, 1.5, 1 3/4. I would remove this plastic piece, but it also holds the springs. Low speed, high speed, different sizes. Let's not mix those up. Low speed, a little bit of gum on the end. High speed, a little bit of gum on the end. Let's get our crispy critter, which honestly, this thing's been sitting in ATF for like a month, and I don't know why I keep it in there. Maybe because it just keeps me company, but talk to your diaphragms like they're buddies. I'm sure this is still, oh yeah, still, I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna put it back in there. Why not? Hang out with me for a while. Little crispy diaphragm. We're going to speed up this process. the ATF dip, and the polish. Brand new. On to the high-speed jet, dip, and polish. Oh yeah, making progress. All right, I think we're in business. Time for some pokey with my bristle. Onto the back side of the Zama. There's the click. What am I looking at here? Is that all plastic? It is all plastic. Okay, so this one, oh, okay. Can't see because it's clear, but if I get the right reflection for you, you can see a little ear right there. Still moves, and a little ear right there. Also still moves. I'm not going to mess with that because I have a feeling if I do, it will end poorly. Did you guys see me launch my needle across the room when I was ripping those plastic caps off? Because I sure didn't. Oh, yep, there goes the knuckles. Anyone out there still awake? I'm putting myself to sleep. Get our Zama cover back on there. Perfect. Let's go for our makeshift diaphragm here. Zooming in for the perfect view. All right, gasket. Reusing the old one, of course. New hacked together diaphragm. Will they work? They line up pretty darn well. Place your bets. Throw me a comment. I know that never works, but I could still say it anyway. Why not? Now you get a great view of my wrinkly hands. Gotta love the arts of dehydration. I'm going to put our plastic cover back on here, or plastic, whatever you want to call it. One half, one, 1 1/4. High side was 1 3/4, 1/2, 1, 1 1/2, 1 3/4. Okay. Let's do some reinstallation. And when I said let's do some reinstallation of the carburetor, I definitely meant let's check out this primer bulb. So I think, if I'm looking at this correctly, that little guy in there can be unclipped, and it might just be able to get replaced by this one I have in stock. So first, let's work on the challenge of those fuel lines. All right, well, that takes care of that. I thought maybe we could reuse I thought maybe we could reuse some of these lines, but this one's pretty much made of plastic. And it has just broken right down yonder next to that other fuel line. So that's a bummer. Let's see if we can pop this out of here. Oh, it wasn't so bad. And there she is. Similar, not identical. Looks like long goes on the bottom. Let's see if this one will fit in its place. Yes, yes it will. I'm not going to put it in there because you know what happens. I'll get it in there, I'll never get it back out. Looking at the old primer, this fuel line is still nice and soft. So I'm thinking we're going to recycle it for the new primer. That was on the short side. Now for the other issue. We're going to have to break this thing apart. Oh boy. I think that's for another day. It is the next day, and my voice is still disappearing. I apologize ahead of time. What do we have to do to separate this beast? Looks like just a bunch of screws. Okay. What's that phrase? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Let's put this baby in all torque mode. One down, more to go. Good news, they're all the same size. My wife said, "Here, have some egg cartons for all your parts." Thank you, honey. That's very helpful. Let's get the handle out of the way. Oh. A little bit of Loctite on there. And when I said get the handle out of the way, that means do absolutely nothing because it's quite literally integrated into the case. Guess we'll just have to bend things out of the way. I believe we have everything loose. Oil cap has to come off. Okay, trigger is staying in place. Thank you. On-off switch. Let's see here. Wow, look at that. That's a good way to overheat right there. Plug up your fins on your cylinder. I'm not thinking that switch is coming out very easily. Nope, definitely not. Oh wait, do those slide right off? Maybe it's my lucky day. Oh, look at that. Oh, you're right. The cool thing that I'm pleasantly surprised and pleased with is that every single screw is the same size. So I don't have to worry about extra long ones and extra short ones. We're really ripping into this thing, aren't we? What now? I'm gonna have to slide this whole thing out, aren't I? Okay. Let's do it. This is getting heavy because I can't get that tank out. Let's put this back. Oh, there goes the trigger. Let's put this back on before I fill it with debris and spill oil everywhere. Good thing for video. Some people can rip stuff apart, put it right back together, know exactly how to do it. Me, on the other hand, no, not so much. A good video is a nice frame of reference to help me out. Why don't we clean this up a bit so we can see a little bit better what we're doing here. Got my plastic tipped brush. Some of you may or may not have seen. It's very convenient. It's like wire brush, but more gentle. Uh-oh, there it goes again. That's fine. I can see the lines where they go to the tank. The question is, do they go into the tank or do they go to a fitting? Just broke another one, and I found out that yes, they do go down into the tank. There is no fitting. It's just a pass-through hole. So we need to replace the lines completely. So I think what I want to do next, since we found out this tank has to come out, is just take the whole engine right out of the case. And I believe to do that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more bolts, screws, and then this is going to have to come off. But since I have this exposed, I should be able to hold it. And Bob's your uncle. Okay, these are also thread sealer or thread locker bolts. This one, we got a reverse thread. And there we go. That worked out a lot better than I thought. Question is, will it come off? Oh, it will. Not so bad at all. Let's have a look behind the scenes. All right. Engine speeds up. These weights fly out. Start losing washers. These weights fly out. Engage this. Spin the sprocket. And off we go. And we've reached the pivotal moment. Will it come out of the case? Again, will it come out of the case? Oh, what am I missing? We got a bolt on the bottom somewhere? I mean, I don't see... Well, there's that screw there for setting your bar tension. Chain tension, rather. Let's take that off. It's a mile long, and it's full of goo. Man, we got spoiled on that home light, taking it apart. It seemed like a few screws, and the thing just popped out of the case. It's got a freaking snap ring in it, too. Screwdriver. Pop it up and fire it across the room. Check. Just kidding. It's our lucky day. Why don't you just take the flywheel off the other side to get the gas tank out? Well, because I don't want to. I'd rather kind of learn a little bit along the way here. This is not an instructional channel. This is a fumble my way through it, learn some stuff, and you can teach me by telling me what I'm doing wrong channel. Alright, think it'll come out now? Probably not. Oh, there we go, look at that. What a sweetheart. There we go. We are down to the bones, the bare bones of the machine. Kind of, not really, ish. We got a nice gooey... Did that just fall off? It did, okay. Mental note, video note, oil goes there. Got it? Alright, I'll have you remind me later. As I was cleaning the oil tank off, the feed tube just broke. So when I said the oil line was soft, no, it's not. It's toast. It's somewhere in pieces on the floor. This is turning into quite the extravaganza, isn't it? Oh, when I said the oil line goes here, no. The oil line broke off of there. Oh well. It's all part of it, right? You don't pick up something on the side of the road that's extra crispy and hope you can turn it into grilled chicken. That made 0 sense, but I'm going to leave it on there. You don't pick up something on the side of the road and hope to turn it into grilled chicken. That's a first for me. I hope you all enjoyed that. Does the fuel tank just slide off? No, of course it doesn't. Are you kidding me? The fuel tank is integrated into the oil pump, which goes behind this wheel. So now I got to take this wheel off? Why don't you just take the flywheel off the other side to get the gas tank out? Well, because I don't want to. Or we could do this surgery without taking it off. If I had to guess, I'd say this was the return line. Maybe we can pull it out this way. Yeah. Oh, 2 for 1 special. Okay. There we go. How's our fuel filter look? Well, it's there. Doesn't look that horrible. Can I blow through it? Oh. That is not tasty. Okay, well. I'm not going to bore you with all the details on making fuel lines. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that off the scenes. Just to give you an idea, set our hydrocarbon distribution center up in its location. And this will give me an idea of the length of lines I need. I know this much will be in the tank, attached to the filter, and then the rest, well, I'm probably going to have to review some videos. Make sure I don't get the in and the out and the in all tangled up. Took a look. Supply line goes on the bottom. that took me a second. Return line goes on the top. Cut them at a point, kind of like a needle. Helps them to go through that ridiculous hole a little easier. Start feeding it through. Ugh, if I can get my fingers out of there. I don't know if you saw me struggle with this on the hedge trimmer, but dang, that took a lot of effort. That should be good. Cleaned up pretty nice. Ran some brake clean through it, blew it out with some air. Nice and easy to pull through. I'm going to cut this flush. Put this on there. And there we go. We should be good to go there. And that's it. I'm going to put some brake clean in there, swish it around, dump it out, and then let's get to reassembly. Alright, got things cleaned up a bit. Put it back together. Spark plug wire, you're going to want to go first. Please and thank you. We are in. Almost looks like the chain was so loose at one point it rubbed on that part of the case. It's a little sketchy. So we have 4 bolts on this side of the case that require some type of apparent thread locker. I have a blue here, so it won't be pure concrete, only semi-concrete. Today's torque spec will be 2 to 3 ugga-duggas. Uh-oh, I hit 5. Engine inserted into case. Oil tank. Completely forgot about oil tank. Good news is, just kidding. Repeat steps 1 through 4. Oh, right in the throat. Do our needle cut. And pull. Maybe just a hint more. Just a skoonch. There we go. Insert suction. Now I'm just going to tuck it in and we'll try again. Oil tank. I actually have it in this time. There she goes. I think what I want to do first is put the fuel line on. I have a history of waiting for the most ridiculous moments to actually reconnect the fuel lines. This will actually have to be installed later. So what I did just now was really not useful at all. Let's get our new primer bulb in. Nice and shiny. All right. We got a squeaker. Almost forgot my leads on the shutoff. Okay, there's one. I can barely see it myself, so you're probably staring at nothing. There's 2. I'm so excited to try to run this thing, I keep forgetting stuff. Trigger assembly. That goes there. That goes back there. And this little guy goes down here. I can't believe I actually got that in there where it's supposed to go. Carburetor. Right there. Okay, so the question is, what am I springing off of? Oh, handle. That's what I'm springing off of. There we go. Okay, I feel better about that. Now, I have a 10-second memory, and I can't remember if it was this line that goes in the top or that line that goes in the top of our new primer. Time to review footage. All right, got it figured out. Our used line goes on the stubby side, and our new line goes onto the long side. I'm going to work on this for a second so I don't make you seasick. And we are plumbing complete. So what I'm going to do, buzz this case back together, and then I'm going to put a little gas in here, make sure the primer works. Nice move. Wrong cap. All I have is 50 to 1. This machine requires 40 to 1. So we're just going to give it a couple of dribbles here in the tank. Oh yeah, that's most likely way too much. A little extra lubrication never hurt anything. Primer check. Cross your fingers. Y'all know my luck with primers. Oh, we're changing tone. Oh, yeah. All right. We have a functioning primer. What a great day. What else do we have going on here? The handle. Spark plug time. It is getting windy outside. Under a freaking high wind advisory today. That'll be fun. Spark plug tight with the swivel socket that is not necessary. Cap engaged. Highly serviceable muffler. Ugga-duggas. Probably should have put this wheel back on before I put the ripcord back on. I never said I was a smart man. That's the end of it. You know what? I think we're ready to go. I kind of want to run this without the carburetor top on there, because I want to see what that carb does when it's running. Make sure it's not spitting gas everywhere. All right. Got some oil in the oil reservoir, gas in the gas reservoir. We are primed up. We are choked. We are in the run position. All right. Cross your fingers. Yeah. Let's do zero choke. Runs like a top, but we have zero oil flow. So I'm starting to see a little bit of oil right over here. So I'm just going to spin it with the plug out and Let's see if we primed it up, or if it's getting primed up. Oh yeah! Sweet, we have oil flow. Let's keep putting things back together. Our official choke lever. Whoop. I don't know if you noticed, but that thing did not smoke at all. Burned very clean. Well, we have the saw ready. Let's put that off to the side. Let's move on to the bar. I do not know. Okay, we got a 16 here. Looks like 16-inch bar. Looks like there's that little grease port, kind of like we found in the on the Husqvarna video. Let's pump some grease into it first. All right, let's see if we can pump some grease. Oh, there it is. Of course, it's all piling up, but that's all right. We'll just tuck it down in there. Try it out on the other side. There it is. Sweet. All right, just rubbed a little grease on some of the rusty spots. Cleaned it up a bit. There's your oiler hole there on both sides. Lines up with your oiling location here, as I'm sure most of you know. So when we get this back on there, we should be ready to roll. Time to put our chain back on. You want your little points facing the direction of rotation. In this case, that way, from the top view. There we go. But that hole right there lines up with that pin that we took out earlier. That tensioning pin. There's a screw head right here. And you just turn that. I'll tighten things up for you. I've got it a little more tight now. Let's go ahead and put our plastic cover back on. And we learned, what did we learn? What did I learn? Well, first of all, I need to clean that. Second of all, make sure your band is released and not in the shutoff, or not in the safety position. And we're a little cleaner there. Not perfect. I'm not too worried about it because it's going to get trashed as soon as we use it. So that will go on, what do you know, trying to put it on with the band engaged. That'll go on there. We got to put on these nuts. And we'll snug up the nuts. We're not going to fully tighten them down. If you fully tighten them down, you're not going to be able to tighten your bar, tighten your chain, move your bar, whatever. All right, after messing with it for a while, we're in good shape. Put some PB on the chain because it's been gooey for so long. I like the tension about like this, so you can pull it up and it springs back. Might be a little tight. Sometimes they'll loosen up as they get hot and you have to adjust the tension again. One thing I do want to do is run a sharpener by it because these are not exactly super sharp feeling. All right, who's ready to talk about chain sharpening? So first of all, I marked a little yellow spot here. This will tell me where I started. Second of all, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, and if you know how to sharpen a chain, you can just skip this, or you can listen and tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I'm sure none of you will hesitate to do that. So we have different angles here marked, 30 degrees, 25 degrees, okay? If I use the 25 degree angle, does this line match up with my tooth? And I don't really think it does. I think we need more like this. So we come over to the 30 degree angle, and we say, does my 30 degree angle lining up with the bar, does this match up with our tooth? and it looks a lot better than the 25. So then what you do is you find yourself a nice clean spot on your file, clip it in place, take your file, use your 30-degree angle mark, which is there, and you go with the tooth, in the direction of the tooth. And this is a very not exciting process. And when you're done, it should be nice and sharp. And you move on to the next tooth. And you do the same thing. Although this one, that last tooth had a little curve to the front. This one's a little more straight on. You can see it lines up pretty nicely with the 30. So we go ahead and continue on with the 30. And while you're doing it, if you have arthritis, it's going to suck. Pardon my foul language. I'm in my 30s and my thumbs bother me a lot sometimes, but you want to kind of push that direction. That way you're grinding into the surface here. And also, more stuff, I know, never ends. You want this surface to lay flat on the top of the tooth there. So you've got all these things to think about. You got to lay it flat, you got to give it a little pressure that way, and only file in the direction of the tooth. Now, I did that a lot of times, and what you should do is the same amount of times with each tooth. And honestly, it's coming along, but these are not really sharpening up very well. And then when you're done with these teeth, you turn your saw around and you work on the opposite teeth. So the more I look at this chain, the more I feel like it's seen better days. Like, you see the curve on that tooth there? It's very steep. That angle is nowhere near anything on this file. I mean, it should be. You should have a very abrupt edge right there. I feel like someone was just using their chainsaw in sand or something like that. I don't know. Maybe one of you know, and you can give me a tip or tell me what's going on here. But I'm going through these teeth, and the surface that I should be sharpening is not being touched. I'm feeling like it's just plumb worn out, or somebody improperly sharpened it. But that's okay. We'll keep working through it, just for kicks, and see what happens. Just a little thing to note. If you do these teeth, let's say, better than those teeth, you may end up curving your way through your log that you're cutting, because you'll have sharpness on one side and garbage on the other side. And it'll give you a crummy cut. Alright, here's the scoop. It's getting dark out. It's getting windy, but I'm not going to have any time to go out and chop wood over the next couple days. So I'm saying, bucket. Let's go outside, cut some logs, and see what happens. Okay, here we go. It's windy outside, so I apologize for the wind noise, but let's see if we can knock out a couple cuts. a good saw, runs good, runs well, but that chain is in really bad shape. Remember how I said it would curve? See how there's a curve, kind of inconsistency there? Let's see, which other one did I cut? There you go, there's a good one. See that curve? Didn't want to cut unless I put an angle on the bar. So, although it runs well, it could really use a bar and a chain. Oh yeah, you can see there's a lot of play down there at the bottom. Let's take a look at that back in the shop. And we're back. So what I was seeing out there, which may or may not be the problem, I could be in left field, and I would actually appreciate comments on this, is that I've got a lot of movement and side-to-side play in the chain. So what was happening is while I was cutting, you know, the chain is spinning, right? But then what would happen is it would feel like there were absolutely no teeth. It wasn't biting, it wasn't cutting, it wasn't doing anything. But then when I put a slight torque on the bar, if I move the bar a little bit, it would suddenly start cutting again. So my thoughts are that this was riding in a way against the wood that it wasn't doing a dang thing. And then once I was able to turn the bar a little bit, it would suddenly catch and start cutting the wood. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm in left field. I don't know. Maybe these depth gauges are too tall. If these are as high as these, it's not going to do a dang thing either. So, to be more safe than sorry, I will eventually get a new bar for this and a new chain and a new combo, break them in together, and call it a day. Alright folks, I think that is going to be the end for the Mac 3200, made by McCulloch, also known as McCulloch, or so Google tells me, because I had to Google how to pronounce it. Anyway, it runs great. I feel good about the repair. I'm happy with it, but I think it would be a sweet machine if we got a new bar and chain for it. And if you like what you see here, a little bit of machine rehabilitation or mutilation, whatever you think it is, come join me next time, because I have more projects in store. Thanks, folks. I'll talk to you later. Okay, one thing I have not done is check to see if this memo... You're gonna have to pull the trigger apart. Holy crap. Let's put this baby in all torque mode. Get to work. Not like that. Alright. So we have 4 because the small side is suction and the large... If I had to guess, they designed... just to see if I could prime the system up. Dumbass. Anti-reverse. Bent my hemostats. Very sad. I already said that. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm out of frickin' storage. Alright. Who's ready to talk about chain sharpening? Me! Said nobody. That was dumb. I think this will do it for the Mac. It runs great. I'm happy about how the... I can't talk. I suck at outros, seriously.